and knew exactly what it was like. And right away, we were impressed. My mom was impressed. And so we said, okay, when the time comes, we will come here.
Hi, I'm Agnes Stowicki, Managing Editor with Comfort Life. We're speaking with insiders from Canada's leading retirement communities and care providers to uncover insights to community lifestyle, care, culture, and leadership. This includes insights from residents, family members, and administration. This is the Comfort Life Insider Perspective.
I just recently wrote a what do you call a review for them, and I mentioned that basically I find the service first class all the way. I have been in the service industry myself as a pharmacist, as a ball and dance teacher, as a studio owner, so I know excellent service when I see it. So the staff and management at Gilmore is top notch, very knowledgeable, friendly, courteous. And the main thing is that they truly make me feel that they're very sincere and dedicated in the care of their residents. They truly have their attention to their well-being. So that was very important for me, that the staff and management was top-notch. That's one thing. And the second thing was that, when you don't know anything about seniors living and you're doing your research, the first thing you think about is nursing home. And that's where it's not true, in that there are different levels of assisted living. And when I look into my research and I took a tour of the Gilmore, it felt like a cruise ship like atmosphere. It wasn't, like a institutionalized feeling. So that was fantastic. I felt that this was exactly what we're looking for. So that's the second thing. The staff was the first thing. The atmosphere was the second thing that stands out for me. And one of the things that I like is that as a resident, my mom could do as much as she wants or as little as she wants, and she has her independence as well as the ability to participate in anything of the activities. So that was great. You're not forced to do anything, and you still have the opportunity to interact with the residents in many ways. Yeah. One, in general, one is that when my mom was living in the condo tower in Burnaby, we would go out and have dim sum with her, let's once every 2 weeks, and maybe dinner every once every 3 weeks. But with her staying at Gilmore, we can have dinner and lunch with her anytime. So we make it a weekly thing where we all gather at Gilmore. I'm only 5 minutes away down the street. And so we were the freedom having to be able to visit my mom and have dinner with her regular is fantastic. So that was made our life so much satisfying to be with our mom anytime we want. As for one particular story that tells you about the service and the mindset of the staff there was that my mom moved in March, and in August, she left the tap running on her kitchen sink. And while she was busy being distracted by a phone call or something, and the sink stopper was in, so it overflowed. And because she had a little bit of hard of hearing and talking on the phone, she can't hear the water dripping. So there was a 2-inch level of flooding on the carpet, and of course that was very alarming. The staff immediately took care of her, made sure she was able to sleep in all the rooms she wants to, made sure to let us advise me on the insurance. Absolutely no judgment. Not like, oh, what did you do? You forget to plug, and you shouldn't do that, and blah blah. No, not at all. Non-judgmental, top service. And when I saw that, I said, how nice of them. to understand that these things happen, that it's only accident, that the main thing is to make sure she's okay, and that she's taken care of and not have to mop it up herself and something. So that incident was very telling on the service level of the staff. Yeah. The staff is excellently trained. They're courteous and friendly. Right from the point I step inside the door to visit my mom, there's always greetings, and they know each other by name. They know me by name, and some of the, I believe the dining reception staff has been there ever since the facility opened like 20 years ago. That shows you how well the staff is. So the staff is excellent. The suite itself is very roomy. It's got the bedroom, it's got the living room, it's got the kitchen counter, it's got lots of storage space, more storage space than I expected. You got a full bathroom, so everything in an apartment that you want. And there is security, like a security lamp that you can pull anytime in the room, in the hallway, so that if you're under stress, you fell down, you need help, it's immediate. So, and the entire building is very safe, rails, type of thing. The atmosphere, as I alluded to before, is very festive. It's decorated according to the season, and you never feel like you are in some sort of institution. So it's very welcoming. So I find that very impressive. First of all, my mom doesn't act her age. She acts like she's just in many ways a fun-loving adult. So even though she doesn't speak too much English, she can socialize with anybody. So that aspect was very important, and it's very satisfying to see her at home, so to speak, with so many people that were strange to her a couple of years ago. So that was made her life happier because of the interaction. Obviously, she feels safe and secure, knowing that if she needs help, there's people around her monitoring her. They have a morning check on every room to make sure you're okay. So she feels secure. We have peace of mind. So our life is so much better in that if she's happy, we're happy. We are happy to be able to visit her anytime, more frequently than before. We no longer fearful of something happening to her, and we're not there for her. So all in all, our lives have been improved, much better. Yeah. Simply, it's like a cruise-like atmosphere, in that there's a front reception, right, with a big dining room, and everything is elegant. It's not office-like, it's not institutional-like, it's more of a hotel cruise ship-like atmosphere is the way I describe it. So it's very welcoming. There's public washrooms on the front floor, the front reception. So we as visitors feel right at home. We don't need to feel unwelcome or looking for things. There's stairways, there's elevators, easy access. I can go from the downstairs parking lot straight up to my mom's room easily, and there's handicap parking and downstairs parking lot. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, you are treated as a guest and a visitor. Even the residents, they are treated like guests. Like they're being served. It's a full service facility. When I say I go for dinner with my mom, it's not a buffet line. It's a table sitting served by it's like going to a restaurant, and it just to me, I was very impressed by that. One is peace of mind. When we have our own homes and residents and far away from each other, even within city, I had to take an hour's drive to go to Burnaby from Richmond, or 40 minutes, an hour in traffic to go see my mom. And now I'm 5 minutes away. So the fact that my brothers also lives in Richmond, we can visit and socialize and have meals with my mom anytime we want within 5-10 minutes is fantastic. That's a huge change for us. The fact that her well-being and is monitored 24/7, wonderful. There's staff there to look after her. So we are not concerned about it at all. So that's number two. We had a tour of the facility and of the individual rooms 2-3 years before we actually moved mom in, because we were weighing the pros and cons, right? Mom was happy living by herself. We don't want to take the independence away from her. At the same time, we need to be concerned about her security and well-being and ease of life. So we have to balance it out. And so there comes a point in time where we say, okay, now is the time to do it. But we actually saw the facility 2-3 years ago and knew exactly what it was like. And right away, we were impressed. My mom was impressed. And so we said, okay, when the time comes, we will come here. I think the first thing is to do some research and find out that there are different levels of care in the seniors assisted living programs. Most people are not aware of that. So do your research and take a tour. That's the best thing. Go in, take a tour, sit down, have a meal. All this is available. And once you see firsthand what the facility is like, what the staff's like, what the atmosphere is like, maybe even talk to some of the residents, you get a firsthand knowledge, firsthand assessment of what it's like. And to me, that was the main thing, is that what you read on paper is one thing, but when you see it's the best thing. My mom was living in a 30-story condo tower in Burnaby.
Mm-hmm.
And and we were living in Richmond, and when she gets a cold or fever, she's bedridden for a week, or when she fell down in Chinatown and broke her leg in 2015, we knew that one of these days we may not be there for her. And so all these little instances made sure that we were ready. A couple of things. One was the closeness of this facility to where I'm living. Every time I drive by, I see the facility. I said, hey, there's a assisted living. Well, there's several in Richmond, in my city, but this was very close, 5 minutes down the street. And so that was one big plus, the closeness. The second determining factor in making my decision was the tour. Just going in, talking to the manager, go inside a room to see exactly what room, to learn what the monthly fees cover, not cover, etc. And so, yeah, those are two things that was very determining factors in my decision. When we decide that we should look into this place as one of the first choice, we pay a fee to put onto the waiting list. So, almost every other month, I would get a call from Gilmore and say, Andy, there's a room available now. Would you like to take it? And I said, not yet. My mom's still happy. I think we are still okay. And even though we declined the offer, we were still at the top of the list. We were not shuffled down. You see, that was good in that, we were always on top of the list as one of the earliest people to call if there's room available. So again, that tells me it's good service, that we got in early on the waiting list, so we stay in there. So and I think in the February, just the month prior to moving in, my mom had a flu. She was having chills, could barely stand up. And I said, Mom, this is going to happen again. And you don't want to be having to stay at home and nobody looking after you. And, and so maybe you should consider moving now. And so that was a decision making too. I peek into, meaning I step inside some other facilities where I did not feel welcome. I felt like I was an intrusion on the staff's daily work schedule. As I said, I'm in the service industry. I work in restaurant, my uncle's restaurant, hotel business, my own dance studio. So I know how important it is to make people welcome. When I've had that yucky feeling that, I'm an intrusion, I felt, no, this is not the place. Then I had another place and they showed me a room that was not occupied. And I took a couple of pictures with my phone. Mind you, I didn't ask for permission, so that was my fault. But then, what's the harm, right? Okay. He said, you shouldn't be doing that. I said, this is not occupied. It's an empty room. I want to show my mom what the picture is. And so again, I got a little bit of negative vibes from things like that. So every time I go to a facility, if I get this little vibe that I say, this is not good. When I stepped into Gilmore, it was totally opposite. I just felt, I was being welcomed, even though I'm not a client yet. I'm a potential client, but I'm treated, like a guest. And so that was the main thing about the facility is the staff, how we were treated when we took the tour, more than anything else. I think the first thing is to understand that there are different levels of assisted living, from totally independent, active seniors, kind of a cruise ship atmosphere and active, to the nursing homes where people have long-term disabilities and bedridden. So you have to know exactly what your loved one needs, to compare the needs of your loved one to what the facility provides. So that's one thing. The best thing is to go into a facility that you are researching and take a tour of the facility and talk to the staff and see the rooms and find out what they provide and what they don't provide. I think that's very important to actually get a first-hand look at the facility. It was very easy in that the Gilmore gave us a recommendation of a mover that was familiar with their facility. So that was good. So you hire somebody who's not familiar with the facility, they would have to have a little bit of searching around type of thing. So the fact that we were having a mover that knows the facility, knows where the entrances are, elevators, stairs, etc., that was good. So that's one thing. The other thing was that the whole day was planned out for us in that they knew when we were moving in. So they got all the elevators set aside for us. There is handicap access in the downstairs. So we were away from the front entrance. So it's very separated if you're moving. There's underground parking lot. So again, the movers can move right in without having to go street level. Everything is handicap ramps, so you can avoid all stairs. And they had luncheon ready for us, for the family to welcome us. They had one of the residents assigned as a liaison for my mom. Okay, I'm one of the residents here. I'm going to look after you for the first 3 days. just to get you climatized, so to speak. So that was good. Yeah, it was pretty smooth. Yeah, pretty smooth. The facility has its own in-house handy person, you might say, that's available to fix anything and everything. So before my mom moved in, they make sure that all the amenities inside the suite was clean, repaired, emptied, so it was like ready to be moved in. And this gentleman was ready to help us fix anything that needs to be fixed, adjust anything, doorknobs, anything. So again, that was part of the service, right? To have this handy person available to us. I'll move in earlier. Yeah, well, it's my mom and my dad, before he passed away, bought and a duplex in Burnaby, and they rented out to be able to pay the mortgage. Okay, this is in the early 80s. Okay, and when my dad passed away in 89, for the next 20 plus years, my mom acted as a landlord, living in the duplex and looked after renters on two sides. And there's stairs, and and there's steep stairs, these old houses, right? Okay, so she was by herself, acting as a landlord, and for the next 20 plus years. And so there comes time I said, Mom, you're getting too old for this. Okay, and so we sold the property, sold the duplex, but then where Mom gonna live? So we used some of the funds to bought her a new condo in the condo tower in Burnaby, Metrotown. So that was the next 3-4 years. But if we knew about Gilmore a little sooner, I think we would have maybe skipped past the condo and went straight from the duplex straight into Richmond. Hindsight is 2020. So that's probably what we would have done different.
For more information about this community, you can visit their profile at comfortlife.ca.